Don was a very influential man at in my brother's life. My brother was, we grew up in a suburb of Cleveland, upper middle class, and my father inherited his father's business of Daniel's Fuel Oil Company. And up in Lake County in the 50s and the 60s, or actually the 40s, all the oil came mostly from his company, so it did very well. Anyway, we had 5 kids, 4 boys and 1 girl, and the oldest boy was my brother Terry. And Terry, being the firstborn, my brothers always said he got all the good blood because he was smart. He was a 4-point student his senior year, president of senior class, outstanding football, outstanding baseball, and graduated in 1964. He could go anywhere in college. He decided he wanted to get out of Ohio, go south to the sun. He was recruited by USC for football, and the minister, we used to, of course, back then everybody went to church. We were in the Methodist church back then. The minister pulled him aside and said, "Terry, I understand you want to go to USC down in California." "Yeah, why is that?" "Well, because of the sun, it's beautiful, they got good-looking girls." He said, "Well, you should check this out." And he pulled out a pamphlet on Southern Methodist University. He said, "They're in Dallas. That weather's about the same as California." He said, "Look, they have pretty girls, and it would do you good to get a background in theology, because that'll lead to law, business, anything you want. And it's a great fraternity." Terry said, "That's for me." So 1964, he went down there. He played for a coach named Hayden Fry. Hayden Fry went on to claim years later in the 80s with Iowa. Brought him Rose Bowl, beat Ohio State. Anyway, in practice there, Terry got a block and blew his knee out. And he hurt 2 pins that were in it from a year or 2 earlier. Anyway, the coaches felt bad because the doctors back then said, "Terry, your football days are over. If you have another injury like this, we're going to have to remove it." My mom, my dad, the kids, we were devastated. Here's our big brother, he was ready to go onto the football field. He was starting freshman, all that stuff. And anyway, one of the coaches saw him rehabilitating his knee in the gym. He said, "Terry, they're all Dallas, we feel real bad about that. And we really think he's a great athlete." Is that my Texas accent?
Yes.
He said, "I got a good friend in Dallas. He's got a boxing gym there." And Terry said, "Boxing? I don't know anything about boxing." He said, No. You're a tough kid. You're a linebacker, running back. I think you'd be great. Just do what they tell you. He's a good man. He works for the Police Athletic League." Okay. So he goes there, and the guy meets him. He says, "Okay, yeah, your coach told me you'd be down here, but let me tell you something." He said, "I got a lot of these tough guy football players that come in here, and they waste my time. All right? They all think they're real big. They're going to knock somebody out." This is 65, too. And you remember who the heavyweight champion at that time was? Cassius Clay. And always interviewed on ABC Sports. "So, Cassius, what are you going to do next?" Remember those days? And but everybody, half of the people hated him, half of the people loved him. He was an amazing athlete. But so Terry said, "I've never boxed in my life." The guy said, "Look, you just do what you're told. You do what we do this. You're a good athlete. You come here on time. You do it after school. We won't waste your time. But believe me, if you start shortchanging me, don't even come back." Terry said, "All right." And that's the way he was. He could adapt to anything. And he was a winner. So he came back. They said, "Look, you're doing good. You had a couple good fights under your belt. We're going to put you in the Dallas Golden Gloves." And I interviewed his second coach for when I was doing all the research on his book. He said, "Jeff, we had more than 6,000 people. We had more people at the Golden Glove tournament than the pros got." And I said, "Wow." And he said, "Yeah. And your brother electrified the whole place. His first year, he had 4 fights and 3 knockouts and 1 decision. Won the novice, got a big old trophy, right?" And of course, the boys back home in 1965, there's only 1 phone in the house, and you're listening to your big brother talk about the Golden Gloves that he won. We go, "Golden Gloves?" I said, "Terry, you're like Elvis, Kid Galahad." He goes, "I know. This is pretty cool." And then my dad got on the phone, and we heard him go, "Yeah, well, I heard that. Yeah, right. Okay, you won." Well, listen, I didn't send you down there to get in a boxing ring. You could have done that right here in Cleveland and saved me a hell of a lot of money. You're down there for studies, not to get your brains knocked out. Here's your mother. You know, that's the way that went.
Right?
Yeah. It was a joke, but no, it was real, the way it went. So he wins several tournaments, knockouts like you wouldn't believe. In 1969, he gets a draft notice, goes to the draft. He said, this is it. And there's a lot of different things that happened that could have swayed him out of this professional sports thing, because you couldn't see, you know, I mean, does this kid look like a heavyweight to you? A heavyweight champion? I mean, you know, he's an all-American kid. All the girls loved him. All the parents of his girlfriends loved him, because he had a great sense of humor. He was an adult type of person in a kid body, but, you know, everybody loved him, and the boys loved him, you know. So 69, the draft notice comes up, and he's standing in line, and the final doctor says, here, go to the nurse, give her this report. Okay, he does. He's like thinking, okay, now my life's going to change. Well, I don't give a damn. And he came home from Christmas to tell me, before that happened, I'll back up a little bit, he told me that he got drafted, and he had to report back in the end of December, right after Christmas. He had to go back with the other boys and get the examination, and he said, I'm going on to Vietnam. But you know what? He told me, he said, I'm going to join Green Berets. And I knew he would. He was that type of guy. And I said, wow, Terry, man, are we going to see you again? And, you know, I get choked up on it. So he gets done, he gets the letter, he goes to the nurse, she goes, okay, get on the bus. He gets on the bus, he sits down, it's raining out, he thinks, this is so screwed up. I got the world by the, you know, what do you call those, the cojones. And so the kid sits next to him, he goes, wow, you got a letter too? He goes, yeah. He goes, did you read it? I said, no, I don't want to read it. He goes, no, open it up. And there, stamped in big bright red letters, was rejected because of the pins in his knees. So these are all these changing things, and then his manager says, you should turn pro, you got everybody here. And he had a huge following, and he has KOs like that. So fast forward to this night, March 9th, 1971, and Joe Frazier knocks out Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali. Well, I'll back up just a little bit before that. In 1970, Ali made his comeback, right? 3 years off from 67 draft, right? Everybody, every veteran that read my book and stuff, good. I didn't like him anyway. You know, but anyway, true fact. He was training in Houston for Jimmy Ellis. All right, remember him? Tough guy, won the whole Ellis beat Query and the whole tournament they had, pro tournament. And I mean, he was up on it the whole time. And anyway, he's training in Houston. He wanted to fight Jimmy Ellis in Houston. And his manager got a call, said, we heard you got a tough heavyweight there in Dallas. Bring him down. Ali wants to train with him. They said, okay. So he gets there in the ring, and the first round, and I'll never forget it, because I was a sophomore in high school. You know, an all conservative high school in a suburb of Cleveland. My brother's training with Ali. And I'm like, holy cow. And he says, yeah, well, get this. He said, I got in the ring, and the first round, the bell rings, and I'm strapped, you know, they're sparring, right? It's a workout. And Ali's doing this stuff. Oh, you know, pop, you know, popping him up. And Terry's like, he gets done with the first round, and he just got it red, you know, and stuff. Comes back to the corner, he told his manager, he goes, does this guy know this is a workout? What the hell? He said, Terry, just do what he's doing. You know, you're here, we're getting paid, just do it. He goes, okay. So he goes out, and a minute, and his wife was there too. Took the pictures. Terry said, I've had it with this crap. And when he said Ali did this, he stuck his left, but instead of going like this, he went bam, right there, and caught him right on the button, and Ali went down. First time ever. And Karen, his wife, took real two snapshots. Guys are like, ho, 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 no, cameras, no cameras, no. And she caught Ali's eyes that were this big, and getting off the canvas. So a week or two later, the manager got a call from Ali's camp. and said, hey, the champ wants your fighter to be the preliminary fight on the Ali, what's his name, the comeback fight. So for Ellis, Jimmy Ellis. He said, "What?" And he goes, "You're going to go up against the champion of Mexico, Manuel Ramos." So we watched a closed circuit, first time ever. I mean, we thought we were in Disneyland watching this stuff. And there our big brother was on the big screen, you know? And we're all like, holy cow. And he tore that guy up, 10 rounds. In fact, he had him out in the 4th round, but he came back. And Ali won his fight and went on to, you know, that. Anyway, fact, that evening they had a big party for all the fighters on the top of the hotel. And Ali, somebody spilled a drink on Terry's pants. And he went up to the hotel where all the fighters were staying. He was on the top floor with the other fighters. And he wanted to change his pants. So he gets in the elevator. And before the elevator closes, the guy goes, hey, hey, hey. And the hand comes in there, opens it up. And there's this guy in all white outfit with a white hat. He gets on, he goes, hey, hey, hold it, man, hold it. Thanks a lot. And in walks Muhammad, 6'3", 230 pounds. He's standing there, he goes, hey, Daniels, you did good tonight. I knew you would. And Terry goes, oh, thanks, champ. He goes, yeah, that's right. I'm going to go on. I'm going to fight Frazier, too. And when I beat him, I'm going to give you a shot at the title. Fact. And Terry was like, wow. He was like honored, you know. Here's this kid from Willoughby, Ohio. And he's undefeated. Well, he had one fight in between. You'll read about it. I got books in the back there. They're $20 friends and family rate, by the way. I'll autograph them. So fast forward from that. In Cleveland, Don Elbaum sponsored Terry with Floyd Patterson. And it was amazing. And we were like, Floyd Patterson, holy cow. And he lost a 10-round decision only because he was totally intimidated to the max, you know. But then he kind of came across a book he told me called Psycho-Cybernetics. And he read it from cover to cover. And it's about conditioning your mind to believe before you do something. And he proved it. He proved it to me. And he takes on a couple things later. Don Elbaum sponsored him again in a fight with a top 10 contender who was in the camp of a guy named Don King. And they were the two Dons around the Cleveland area. And, I'll back up just for a second. When Terry lost to Patterson, everybody applauded. And he goes, come on, Jeff, let's go up there. And he took a quick shower and he goes, I'm going to go up. I got to collect our money. We're going to go home, you know, and all the family. The Cleveland Arena was filtering out. And he took me to the back office, and there was Don King. I'm a junior in high school, sophomore, junior, I forget. And Don King's there. I'm sorry, Don King. Don Elbaum. And Don has a a briefcase out. He goes, kid, you did good tonight. He goes, here's your cut. And it was like $4 grand. Pops it open, and they were all stacks of hundreds. And it was my first time ever being in the back room of a professional bout. I didn't know. I thought they got a check or something. He paid him in cash. He said, you did well. It was beautiful. He said, you were intimidated. I know you could have knocked him out. It was a bloody fight because Patterson did a lot of dirty tricks. We know that. So when he came back to Cleveland, he got the top 10 fighter named Ted Gullick. In his corner was Don King. And the first 2 rounds, Terry's face was red. And he was getting peppered. I mean, this kid was popping and pop, 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 pop. And this guy behind me goes, hey, man, after the first round, he goes, is that white boy your brother? I said, yeah. We all had football jackets on. He said, yeah. Okay. He says, I bet you $20 he don't make it past the 3rd round. I said, okay, you're on. I'm sorry, the 2nd round. He bet me the 1st round. Well, he did. 2nd round comes up. He goes, hey, tap me again. He goes, I got 2 tickets to the Browns game tomorrow. This was Sunday, so Saturday was the fight. I go, man, I don't got any money. I asked my buddies. They go, nah, we spent it all at the concession stands. I said, damn it, I don't have the money. He goes, okay. 3rd round, Terry did one of those, saw red, came out just like Jerry Quarry. And bell rang about a minute into it. Gullick was moving around, and Terry saw it and went boom, boom, hit him with an uppercut. He fell like a tree. Boom, hit the canvas. The crowd erupted. And we said, holy cow. And they do the count. He gets up, he's all wobbly. Give him an 8 count. Comes up, bell rings again. Terry does the same thing. Bam! Don Elbaum was like, yeah! The whole place went berserk, came back. We'll wrap it up. Okay, so Terry fights Frazier after the Frazier Ali, and that's him, a picture of that's him getting, reading his psycho-cybernetic book, and it's a true fact that in New York, Sylvester Stallone was at that Ali Frazier fight at Madison Square. Fell in love with boxing. I saw the whole synopsis of it. And he was interviewed. He said the second fight he saw was the the Daniels Frazier fight. Terry fought him, got up 4 rounds. And every time he got up, he just didn't fall around. He came at him. So in 4 rounds, they stopped the fight. That's the way that went. And everyone says, well, he did that off a weapon. No, Ali never finished the script because he couldn't get the final copy until he saw the Wepner fight. And that's what did it for him. And if you think about it, and Sylvester said it was a collage of fights. It was the Ali Frazier, Frazier Daniels fight, and the Ali Wepner fight. And to prove that, I tell people, when I've done that, I show them a picture of Chuck Wepner, and I said, okay, to prove that out, who looks more like Stallone? This ugly brute or this kid? And that's it.
Great story. Great story.